Welcome back to Yamcha Sessions. Today we have an illustrator who shall not be named. But then you can go to our cam now. All right. Okay. So a bit of context. Okay, remove your mask now. Sweet. Okay. I think for context is if you guys are CSI level and you really want to go dive deep into explore my history, which is impossible because we were born at a time where internet was not available. I studied with said illustrator, and I knew you since we were like maybe 7 or 8 from a specific school. I don't know whether are we allowed to say the school? Do you think?
I think that's fine.
It's okay lah. Okay, so context also is Andrew and I, we both studied in Sri KL back in the heydays. I wouldn't even say the year lah. Okay, so I was there for 4 years. Andrew was there for a year, but in those 4 years, I studied only a year with you, right? And but your name had been known amongst our group, or at least our age group, for the longest time because you draw so well. I actually like legit looked up to you since like standard 2, standard 3, and I always envied you. I envied your ability. Actually, I'm not even joking. Like I would straight up say, man. And I think we said this over dinner earlier, right? Like I entered a competition with you back in, I think we were 9 or 8, I forgot. And then she drew this like Sonic picture, right? And she won like second place. Was it second place, first place? I don't remember.
Even remember.
You don't even remember. But I remember this so distinctively because my neighbor, she used to raise me, and she drove me all the way to Sunway University for that competition.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Auntie Chow used to do that.
Right.
Because she really believed in my ability to go and draw and all that, right? But when I saw said illustrator, I'm like, dude, there's no way I'm competing with this shit, man. And I also remember I loved drawing Pokemon at the time. I was training, I was like every day just like honing my skills. And when I drew all those Pokemon for my competition, my entry, right? And I didn't even make it to top 10, I was like, dude, I'm so trash lah. But you made, I think you were like second or third place, and you were like, damn, shucks. You were like so chill about it. And I remember you distinctly said, you draw characters so well, but I feel like you need to fill up the spaces in your drawing. And I was like, dude, 8, 9 years old, you got so much foresight in this shit. Yeah. And then when we were 10, we entered the competition together. I don't remember this. Do you remember this?
I do not recall. You
Damn,
have
man.
to tell the story.
Damn, man. Dude, so we entered the competition, we were 10. And then like it was me, you, and Justin, and a guy named Benedict. I don't know when you remember Benedict.
Yes, I remember him.
Yeah, it's hard to forget Benedict. Okay. So it was 4 of us. We immediately first place. Immediately.
Oh, as a group lah.
As a group.
Okay.
And I was like, damn, man. It's clearly said illustrator.
I don't even remember what I drew. Yeah.
But ever since then, I always thought like, wow, you just know that there is a gap. There are people with so much talent. And I feel like hard work can't just, I really couldn't measure. I'm just like, dude, I guess that's my limit really lah. Sketching is my limit, right? Then I left and then we didn't really keep in touch. But I found, we started chatting after you found out about the podcast, and we started catching up. I'm like, oh my God, you should come on the podcast. But you were like, oh, quite difficult. Because of, I think your industry is very small.
It is.
Yeah. So there are going to be certain things that you can't mention. There are going to be certain things that are part of your work that you can't mention. But maybe we can start, for me at least, right after that. So when we were in primary school, did you always know that you were going to be doing illustration?
I felt that way, yes, because I cannot imagine myself doing anything else. I just had no interest. I like to draw. That's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I remember at that time, Sri Kela was a private school.
It is.
And then it became an international school. That time, was it SPM also?
Yeah.
Still
yeah.
SPM, right?
Yeah, it
So
was.
there was like no option for you to go O levels or whatever, right?
I think O levels at the time was I don't know. It started to be introduced already. I think my year had O levels, but I
Oh.
opted for SPM.
Okay.
So we were the second batch that got the O levels thing.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure about the mechanics of O level, so forgive me, right? But was there like an art stream or a science stream similar to SPM?
Yes, there was.
There was lah.
Yes.
I see. Did you go for arts or did you go for science?
For SPM, I went for the science stream. Actually, yes. Because I saw the art stream and it didn't seem like there's anything to do with arts. They said it's like marketing and
Oh,
I don't know,
sure.
perdagangan or something like that. I'm like, why do I need to know that? So I went for science. I think it's much more interesting for me. Although I don't see myself pursuing a career in science.
Yeah. For I think in government school it was more of a status thing. I'll be straight up, I don't know about you, Drew,
Oh,
right?
for sure. I think this is the clearest example of peer pressure being the biggest factor into people choosing arts or science stream.
Yeah. But for ours, if I'm not mistaken, they still had pendidikan seni. So you still do art, but I think in the education system in Malaysia, art is very like surface level, right? They just like draw, color,
Yes.
end.
Yes.
So there was no like deep dive into it. But when you took when you chose science stream and you took SPM, after that, did you always know like this science thing was going to be a bonus because it just seemed interesting, and then you were going to go into arts?
Yeah, that's how I felt.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if it's not arts, I might have gone into something computer related anyway.
Oh,
but
okay.
Maybe, I don't know, computer science, but never really went to that. So stuck with arts.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you went through the same thing I did. So I would like to think I'm more arts based rather than science based. I mean, at this point, if I was science based, I'd be a really shit scientist. So thank God I'm not that, right? But I'm more. I would like to think I'm more art inclined. But I don't know whether you went through the same thing I did, because when I went to when I finished SPM, and Andrew can back me up on this, I was actually quite lost. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I actually enrolled myself into Lim Kok Wing, and then like halfway playing FIFA, talking to my dad, I'm just like, maybe I cannot sit behind the desk and draw all day or do multimedia. I'm not sure. I just don't know. And I couldn't tell. But did you face the same thing? Like, did you know specifically where you wanted to go, specifically in art?
I felt like, okay, there's a lot of things that you can do in art, but I always knew that, yeah, again, I want to go into art. When I was in Form 5, they had like a college fair or something. Yeah, they just, come to your school and
and
promote their
the university, their
places,
college and whatever.
At the time, I already knew I wanted to go to One Academy, also because it's within the radius of where I live. So
Okay,
yeah,
it's convenience
yeah,
also. Yeah. But it was the it thing, man. I think One Academy, even Nick went to One Academy, and a lot of people that go One Academy, they always are of high caliber. It's either like you make it or you break it type of thing. Like you just like, I can't do this. It's too brutal at one.
Yeah.
And then or you make it lah. But at that time, I really actually didn't even know like the difference. And it sounds like I'm a boomer lah at this point lah, right? But did you feel like when you were drawing when you were younger that there would be no future in it because you were just drawing with pencils and pens, and then that jump to learning Photoshop, Illustrator / like drawing with a Wacom tablet for that matter, it seems so difficult for me because when we were standard 1, 2-ish, A Bug's Life came out in Pixar.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
right. I clearly remember that it was A Bug's Life and then it was Toy Story.
Yeah.
And when I watched those, I'm just like, dude, there is no way I can compete with that shit, man. Like you could like measure up to Aladdin, to like Tarzan, but that jump to 3D, shit, man, I was so intimidated. And then I like, there's no way I can do art. There's no way I can learn how to do software. It's just not the same anymore. Did you ever go through that?
No, because here's the thing with me. I don't think about the future when I was young. So I had no awareness of anything. So I'm just like, okay, just let me do my thing.
Oh, okay. But when you went to one, how did you decide which specific like pathway?
Okay, so at the one, there's like several majors. I went into animation. It seemed most interesting to me because you get to learn new softwares, particularly
Wow,
like Maya. So I get to go into 3D. Whereas if you go into illustration, I think you're stuck with like one thing and one skill set. It's not much, I feel. So at least in digital animation, it's a bit more diverse.
I
The things
see.
you can do.
I see.
So,
So forgive me because I'm a total retard when it comes to like absolute retard, right? What exactly is illustration?
It's drawing.
it really is just drawing, like portraits. It could be background painting.
Okay.
Mostly painting stuff.
It requires the skill of your trained hand to maneuver to create with like on paper, which is actually quite rare, nowadays. I feel.
It is.
Yeah, it's actually quite sought after. So like if you were to, I don't know, illustrate a book, like a children's book, you
Yeah.
get paid quite a bit, man.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Just to illustrate like, I don't know, 5 characters. You charge like per character, I don't know, X number, depending on how skillful you are, what's your background, that type of thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
So the use case of illustration is what exactly you can write children's books,
Oh man.
comics.
Okay, so maybe this was just me. So you can correct me if I'm wrong. In the early stages, I thought, when you watch anime, and then there's background, there's foreground.
Sure.
Okay, so the background is always still, right? So you see like, let's say Dragon Ball. The background is always the same, but Goku's always moving. And you can tell, right? Like which one has been painted and which one is drawn. So the illustrator is the guy that draws the character moving. And he does frame by frame.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's the animator. That's what we call them.
Yeah. But he has to illustrate the character and then do the next action, and like that, right? Then
Yeah.
he's the animator already. But you have to illustrate first, then you next level you. Right, correct.
Yeah, something like that. But illustrator is such a broad term. I mean, it could be anything like character designer.
Can start from
those
there.
Background designer.
Yeah.
Prop designer.
Game character designer.
Yes,
Yeah.
all
Like
those.
Ratchet and Clank,
Right,
if they were to
right.
design, or like Crash Bandicoot, how would the first few versions of Crash look like?
Yes.
And the guy would draw like 5 options.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was like my dream. I felt like, wow, I could totally do that shit. But then as I grew older, you just see so much talent, like so much. I think not even like you, right? I feel like a couple of guys, they used to draw like Dragon Ball stuff, and I'm just like, dude, these people are so talented. I cannot measure. I just gave up already. When I saw levels like that, I'm like, dude, fuck it. I'm not gonna work lah. This is not gonna work out for me, man. I'm not gonna earn money. Competition confirm die. Yeah. But I overheard Nick and Sid Illustrator talking, and they were like, yeah, sounds like a One Academy thing. Right? You go there, you're just, it's heavy, man. Right? Yeah. But so when you went into that specific, I cut you off, right? You went into multimedia, were you saying?
Animation. Digital animation.
And it's because you wanted to learn like softwares like Maya and all that.
Yeah.
But how did you know that Sid softwares like existed? Because to me, at that time, it's like, dude, what?
I guess I might have seen like articles online or something, like maybe behind the scene videos of from films and things like that. And they kind of like talk about like what they use. So that's how you get to know what software the industry is using.
I see.
Yeah.
I was never like that. I just saw people just drawing. Like those TV shows on Astro back in the day, and they would like show how Cinderella was animated. I never thought like there was a transition to animation. And I was just like, dude, this is so overwhelming. I cannot do this, man. As a kid, you're just like, ayo, I cannot lah. But I always just continued drawing. But I remembered, right, like on Sid Illustrator's Facebook, I think I've showed you before as well.
Yeah. No, I've seriously heard quite a few stories about you.
Yeah. Like Hans Landa drawing, stuff like that. I'm just like, damn, man, how do you get there, right? Okay, so when you went into animation, how many years did you spend in the one before you decided to venture out into your first job?
Okay. So I spent about 3 years at the One Academy.
Okay.
Right after that, I actually went to the States.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Okay. Which part?
Ohio.
Oh my lord. Is it the OSU?
No.
Oh, not the OSU. Okay,
Unfortunately,
good.
not OSU. But, another art college that was like within Columbus also.
Okay.
I'm the only Malaysian there.
Wow.
Was the only Malaysian there at the time. So yeah.
I empathize with that feeling.
He also went to the States. He was also one of the only one Malaysians at the time during his era.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Okay.
it doesn't matter so much. You still get to do your own thing. But yeah, so I went there, studied animation also, still focused on 3D, although my school mostly focused on 2D animation.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I just went for 3D because that's the skill set I learned when I was at the One Academy. So just went for it. But after I graduated, I came back, did some freelance for like some mobile game thing.
Are you allowed to say which mobile game?
I don't think it's ever released.
Oh shoot. Okay.
I'm not sure, but
Okay.
the style is like cartoony 2D.
Like Persona, is it?
No, it's more like I want to say like Angry Birds kind.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, I ended up working in 2D animation actually instead of doing 3D. That's the funny thing.
But the style is kind of like that now, right? I don't know whether you guys realize. Like you watch what's that called? The Across the Spider-Verse It's kind of very comic book-esque 2D, but it's made in a 3D world. So the 2D is now overlapping onto 3D to make it look like it's 2D.
Yes.
Yeah, but 3D is just a lot more easy where like you can maneuver the character and all that. Yeah. Then you were doing freelance for a bit, and then you joined your first company doing 3D as well? Or still 2D?
No, right around the time I was doing freelance, I was also doing like event stuff like okay, you know, sometimes you have something like Comic Fiesta, that sort of thing. Okay. So I was tabling there with my friend. My friend was like, okay, you know, let's just go and walk around and see what they have around the hall. And then there's like one corner of the hall where there's some companies that they have their own booths. And then one of the staff was like, oh, are you an artist? Can we look at your portfolio? I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. I got one. And then she called her boss over. And then the boss was like, you know what, just send me an email. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. I sent an email, got the job a few months later. Yeah.
Wow.
But that's your portfolio says a lot about what you've done, man.
Yeah, maybe the quality just speaks for itself. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Like you see differences, you know, like of quality. Because when you see your own and then you know what you are and then you know what it takes to get to that level, you just like, dude, this is so far, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you play tennis and then you play with like a really elite player. You just know.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah,
We both know that feeling very well. But are you in that same company till now, or?
Yes, I am.
I see.
Wow. How many years has it been?
It's a little over 6 years. Yeah.
It's a rare commitment these days.
It is, man.
You don't see that very often.
It is, man.
That's also because there's not many places you can jump to locally. So
I
and
see.
a lot of people like jump over to my company. So yeah,
Right.
yeah, that is why.
Are you allowed to say how many companies? And are you allowed to name the companies?
I do not want to name any of the
Okay,
companies.
no worries.
But I would say there's at least 3 major players that I am aware of.
Okay.
For this Western animation.
Why do you think it's so secretive in terms of like saying names, you know, saying where you are?
For me, it's just that I don't want to get into potential trouble in the future.
I see. But do you
Because-
think because you're not the first illustrator I spoke to, right? And that the person, I'm not gonna say who, right? Because he is also saying don't say it. They don't want to mention where they work as well. You know? And I find it like quite, because I was speaking to Nick about it before the podcast, and I was saying how like, it's going to be quite I can't be too detailed about it. I can't press for more because privacy is a thing. And the guy was also saying the same thing, that the illustrator is like, oh bro, I would love to, man. I love listening to your podcast, but like I can't go on, man. I can't. He's more than happy to share, but it's ironic because as an artist, you're supposed to share your work, but you cannot share your work, dude. And he was like, bro, how can you be an artist but cannot share your work? It's so hard, man.
Yeah, I think it's also partially because the market is so small that if anybody within the market talks, everybody knows everybody, and then it can be very easily politicized. So I don't know, say company ABC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone's friends with someone, right? And then if you happen to say the wrong thing,
Step on the wrong toes.
yeah, then they badmouth you, and it goes haywire industry wide, lah.
Do you think the industry is still very young?
I feel that it is, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have that many seniors that we can learn from, at least from my experience, because I am that senior, unfortunately. So I always long for like, you know, someone like a senpai
Like
or
a man,
something.
like a senpai.
Yeah.
It is tough, man.
Yeah.
But, I think also it's okay. I wouldn't say your company abuses you, lah, but it's known for it. I think in the animating / 3D / like creative industry, like manpower is mad, man. We work like really long hours. I don't know about your company but I know the industry works that way, lah. I feel
Yes.
deadlines are quite harsh.
For my department, it's still okay because what we do is we design characters, we design props and backgrounds, and that's about it. But usually the departments that have to stay longer,
Are the animators?
animators, yes, the really big departments, because they have so many things to go through.
I see.
Yeah.
Can you run through a process in which, I don't know, you don't need to be that detailed, because I know sometimes you might divulge into the details of how the operating thing works, but how does it go from the process of you starting like a design to it being a fully animated video or cartoon?
Okay. Typically, you would have the script first,
Okay.
and then there will be a list of things that we need to design.
Oh, it's
based
like a
on the script.
checklist?
Yes, something like that. An assets list.
Okay.
And then the storyboarders would need that information, and then they would like make their storyboards out of that.
Oh, okay.
The script and the designs that we have. Sometimes there's new designs added into the storyboards, and then that's when it goes back to us, the character and prop designers. After the storyboard's done, they'll move on into production, where you have the rigging team building the characters, rigs.
What is rigging?
It's like a puppet. That's the best way I can
Oh.
put it. Yeah, it's a puppet.
Like movement.
Yes.
I see.
Not so much movement, but it's more like you're building the character first for movement later on. You need to set where the pivot points are.
Like elbows,
Yes.
like wrists.
Yes.
The laws of the show as well, I'm assuming, because you know how like Powerpuff Girls, they don't have fingers.
Yes, yes.
know? But Professor Utonium has fingers. I don't know. But I guess it's kind of like the laws of the show, right?
Yeah, so that one will go back to the character designers, because they
Wow.
would have to dictate how the hands will work, how the eyes blink, how the mouths
Move
yeah.
according to the voice and everything
Yes,
as well.
and all the vowels and everything. So we would pass that information over to the rigging team. So they have to like build everything, and then from there they can pass the materials to the animators. And there's also the background team
Background
that has
artist.
to they have to paint the background.
I bet you feel so bad. You're like, oh yeah, I forgot about the background team
I know
again.
that it happens at the same time, so I'm trying to think about it like in step by step, so I tend to forget. But yeah, so yeah, background team provides the backgrounds, and then animators also, they will just animate based on the storyboards.
I
The
see.
backgrounds have to be based on the storyboards as well. Some of the shots can be reused. Some shots have to be redone from scratch.
Oh
things
my
like
God.
that. Yeah. Sometimes you need a 360 view of the room. Someone has to design that somewhere, because sometimes the camera faces the other way, and background artists need to know like what does
It's
that
opposite
side-
of the tree, what is next to the river, the type of thing. It
Yeah,
needs to be
yeah.
consistent, because the background sort of shapes the world, right?
Yeah. And then it goes back to my department sometimes. Yeah. So we have to handle all these like requests from time to time. Yeah, so animation, background, all the stuff is done, and then it will be handed over to the post production.
Okay.
So you have the compositing team. Sometimes they will have to add effects, make it look
Lights.
nice, yeah. All the color balancing stuff, There's also audio, but I'm not really sure where that goes.
Probably
to be
sound
honest.
effects like cracking, like blinking, bling, bling,
Yeah,
like
all
effects like that. But when she's saying compositing and she's saying lighting, it's kind of like overlays. Like manga, when you read manga and then the guy punches, you can't just show a fist. You have to show like the impact lines.
I see.
Or when they're depressed, they can't just show a depressed face. They need to show that drawing of the lines on the face. Or when they're angry, they draw that
The hashtag looking thing.
the hashtag looking thing. Yeah. Or they're frustrated, right? So things like that to emphasize the moment is what she means as well.
Very cool.
Yeah. How do they get approved in the beginning though? Because I feel that if you were to start new shows, I'm very certain that it has to go through a process in which they need to like approve, right? Do you guys know about that, or are you guys just handed projects, or do you guys pitch for projects?
We do a bit of both.
Ah.
Yes. So client work is very straightforward. You just follow the script and all that. For IP work, it's more or less the same, except they would maybe make like a 30-second script or something, and then you like have to finish a demo or something like that, and then you have to pitch to the potential investors.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think that's the difficult part. I don't really know how to answer that, but yeah, pitching.
But you're part of the process in which you create that project for that IP.
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's how actually Deadpool started. You know Deadpool? Like the first
pitched it.
Deadpool? They did like a short, like 30 seconds. He jumps off the highway and he says maximum effort, and then he goes into a car, he slashes everybody. And then Ryan Reynolds accidentally, quote and unquote, releases that.
Oh.
Yeah, and then everybody was just like, dude, this is sick, man. This is what 100% Deadpool should be. And that's how they got the funding.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they canned it, and then Ryan Reynolds found it, and he's like, "Fuck that, man! I'm going to release this shit because I want to be part of it." Yeah, so they kind of do like a short in order to sell it.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I didn't know you also pitch. I always thought it's like an investor that like wants to make something come to life, and then they come to you, and you're like, "Hey, I want to make this happen," and then they reach out to you.
That kind of depends from studio to studio, I think. So
I see.
I'm not really sure about what other places do. So this is specific to where I work. Lah.
Do you normally work on like a specific I don't even know how to phrase this lah. Good. Okay, so maybe I can clear the air. Like, you can tell me if you don't want to answer also. Okay.
Okay.
So if you work on a specific cartoon, and I'm allowed to say cartoon, right? So if you work on a specific cartoon, a specific animation, right? Do you only work on one or do you work with concurrent?
Sometimes we work on multiple things at once, but depending on the difficulty of the project, if it's really difficult, you just work on one thing.
Yeah, because you know MAPPA, right? Like when they were doing Attack on Titan,
Yeah.
you can tell, man. Like that producer who came out on stage, I don't know whether was it a producer, bro? Producer, right? Dude, his eye bags, right, were the size of like Kansas, man. It was so big, man. And he was on the verge of death. You can just Google it, you can show them. It's damn crazy. And at that time, right, I remember he was completing Attack on Titan, the last season, the final season, and he was also doing Jujutsu Kaisen. So like, dude, look at his eyes, man. Bro,
His
look at
eye bags
that.
are bigger than his eyes.
Yeah, man.
Goodness.
Yeah, you look at the lower picture. Look at the lower picture. Dude,
Oh.
right?
Dude, you need to go for surgery already, that one.
Yeah, man, it's quite bad. So when I saw this, I'm just like, dude, how do you work on it? But he has no choice, right? Because MAPPA is a big entity. And MAPPA is like, I want you to do this, but I want you to figure it out. So it depends on your manpower, depends on like whatever. And you're like, shit lah, no choice lah, I have to squeeze them lah. You know?
Yeah, Japanese animation industry is brutal. I've personally never worked with them, but you know, you hear a lot of things.
Okay, so do a lot of so in your industry, I'm not so certain whether it's highly competitive where you need to compete with other companies, right? But do you guys also cross share between work where you're like, oh, no choice, have to outsource?
I think that has happened from time to time.
Right, right. Because I think if the industry is big, then I think normally I don't know whether people hold on to IPs or hold on to ideas because you know secrets can go out and stuff like that, right? But if it's small, I think everybody is kind of like help each other out because they know that it's a limited resource already.
Yeah.
You
For
know?
us, we have outsourced lah. But I have heard that in Japanese studios, they borrow artists from other studios.
What the hell? What does
Yeah.
that mean?
They just need help on particular things because maybe there's like a really good animator from another studio or something who can only do something specific. So they will get help from them lah.
I know the perfect example for this. It's the okay. I know I was telling An Illustrator's sibling about this anime that I watched, but I don't watch the second season. In Jujutsu Kaisen, right? Sukuna versus Mahoraga. Did you guys see this battle?
Yes.
No.
You didn't see? Okay, so for me personally, I felt like it was a very rushed animation.
100%.
100%.
The
Is
quality has like dipped immensely.
Yeah, I was just telling An Illustrator that I stopped watching Jujutsu Kaisen because of how bad season 2 was.
I mean, the plot is still okay, lah, so you should still watch it. But the art did take a dip, lah.
Did you watch Jujutsu Kaisen? No.
No.
Okay, it's alright. Spare yourself, don't worry. For me, I don't know lah. But maybe I'll consider season 2, okay? But when I watched that battle, and it's supposed to be like one of the biggest battles, supposedly. Okay? So like what's the biggest anime fight you've ever seen? Like the best animated one that you can think of, top of your head.
Personally, animation wise, I think Kill la Kill.
Kill la Kill?
Yeah.
Which battle?
I don't remember. All of them are pretty good. Anything by Studio Trigger is just insane. For me lah.
Nick is a big fan. Okay. Studio Wheat also is a big fan, right? But for me, it's kind of like Rock Lee Gaara. Naruto is quite epic. But this Sukuna Mahoraga is supposedly like the it battle in Jujutsu Kaisen. So they rush it like mad. And going back to your point where they like borrow certain artists to do certain scenes. Certain scenes, right, in this battle, right, it's like by 4 different animators, one, in order to produce a specific angle to produce a certain like effect,
I
one.
see.
But only in the Blu-ray version. So on the The regular like weekly release one, it was quite shit, but they made it even better in the Blu-ray version. Then I watched the Blu-ray, I'm like, wow, mad man. There was an analysis video as to how. But I didn't know in Japan they did that. I thought it was just like, oh, this project we needed them for this whole season or whatever. I didn't know they like, oh, I just need it for this specific scene. So in Malaysia they do that lah.
It's more like instead of borrowing artists, we just outsource lah. Because I think over here they're a bit more secretive with like who's working where, whereas in Japan,
They're more open to it.
yeah, they're more open to it.
Oh.
I guess over here they don't want people to like take or steal artists from other studios, poaching. I guess is the term. But yeah,
Do you work very closely with the voice artists as well?
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't.
Oh, that's a shame, man. Because I feel like if you were illustrating or you were creating something from scratch, you kind of want to have like to vet through to see which one fits that type of thing. Or is that a completely different department?
That's a completely different department. 'Cause
Ah,
I think that would fall under like animators. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Because they would know how the thing would move and act and
Yes.
react and everything.
Yes, correct.
Huh. Damn.
But what's the career trajectory for someone in your position, given that the industry itself is so small? You've honed in on a specific vertical, so and obviously there are so many other departments doing different things. Do people typically just stay within that same vertical all the way, or do you eventually become sort of a general manager where you oversee the whole charade?
Typically people just stay in their departments.
Okay,
Nobody wants to become a manager, I don't think.
Oh shit.
I don't know because because that's a completely different skill set. I feel most people still want to like continue
work
doing
lah.
the art. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So you could go on to become an art director. I don't know how you're supposed to become one, but that is a path. I guess you need to be very flexible with all kinds of art styles. Maybe in order
because
to
of
become
different IPs.
Yeah, I
different
think so.
projects.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, man. Wow.
Some people do leave the company and start their own.
Yeah, man.
But
That's
that
what I was
is-
gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Like Miyazaki, or is this Miyazaki? The Ghibli guy.
Yes.
You know. Then when they do their own thing, it's because they believe. Like Mappa is that. Mappa was correct me if I'm wrong. Where was the Mappa guy before this? Madhouse. So they were very like, oh, I don't like the way this is operating. So they go move out. They bring their own people, and then they do it. And then they start their own thing, and then you know what's damn funny? I feel like even in Mappa, right, the creator of Mappa, he became so big, right? Then he's like, I don't like how this is working now already. Then he left and create another one. Correct or not? Right. It's the same dude, right? You can Google it. It's the same shit, dude. See, Maruyama left Madhouse, created Mappa. Then after that, he left Mappa and then you go create another studio. Because he's so successful at creating one, right? Then he created a second one, then he's successful, then he's like, okay, I'll go and move another one.
Wow.
Creating jobs, not bad.
But in Japan, it's very brutal, I feel. Because it's like a weekly release type of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's very standard. It's usually only weekly. Like very odd cases, like I can't even think of anywhere. It's like once a month. Damn rare one.
Now Boruto is once a month.
That's manga.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, anime is rough, bro. Anime is like, what is it, 12 frames per second?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, for every 1 second, you have to draw 12 pictures.
Bro.
Not really. Some drawings they're held for 3 frames. At least in Japanese animation, but Western the standard is 2 frames for one drawing. Standard.
Or 2 frames per drawing. 2 frames per second. No lah, cannot, bro. 2 frames is too short, man.
2 frames per second, but 24 FPS, something like that lah. I don't remember the numbers exactly, but yeah, I do know that Western is 2 frames, and then Japanese 3 frames. That's why you can see the frame rate is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but manga is just a singular panel. So technically, you can just be an illustrator in a manga in a manga house, right? Like if you were Masashi Kishimoto, normally in the beginning stages, you create your manga from scratch. Everything you have to do. You have to draw the characters, you have to draw the background, you have to do the story, you have to send to the editor, you have to do everything. And then the bigger you grow, you kind of hire like a background artist really. Then you hire a person that does the speech bubbles. Then you hire the person that writes the dialogue. And then you become bigger lah. But anime and like animation, bro, oh my god, man. That one, I don't know how you guys do it, man. It's also sometimes weekly, right? Like, have you heard of Invincible?
Yes, yes. I haven't watched it.
Oh my god, Invincible is damn good. Have you seen Invincible?
This is the brutal superhero.
Oh yeah.
Right, that's the one, right?
The Omni-Man is the dad one.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, you should totally watch it.
Fantastic.
Man.
Love it.
It's damn good. Oh my god, it's incredible.
For someone who works in the animation industry, I honestly don't watch a lot of things. That's the irony.
You're too close to it already, right?
No, like, it's the same for me. Like, I do events, right? But I never attend events. I cannot tahan. It's just too much energy, you know. But what are some of the stuff that you watched as a kid that you felt like moved you in this direction?
Oh man, as a kid, mostly Cartoon Network stuff and things like that.
Oh.
Disney standard lah. I didn't really watch anime as a kid. I mean, there's a bit of like Pokemon here and there, but not so much. Yeah.
But are there any specifics in cartoons that you remember that made you want to go in that direction? For me, it was Dexter's Laboratory. Dude, that shit like it's so creative. He has like multiple ways how to get to his lab. Like it's the bookshelf, it's the carpet. You know, the carpet means a hole there. I'm like, dude, impossible. You have fallen in the hole.
Your memory is amazing, though. How do you remember all of this?
Because I used to draw it so often, man. I used to like, oh my god, like it's crazy the ideas that people go through. Even like, you know how like when you're a kid, you think it's stupid. Like Tom and Jerry, right? You know, Tom and Jerry is such a rudimentary storyline where the mouse always outsmarts the cat. So technically, right, you can always write the same story and you'll never get boring, man. Right? Because although it's the same story, the way you do it is always different.
Yeah.
You know? And I always am fascinated by the dynamics because, you know, like physics don't really translate, right? Like you can be like walking, and you're like, wonder why it's so cold. Then you're like, oh shit, I just walked over a cliff. And then you can like feel like shit for a good 2 seconds and then only fall. That type of thing just fascinated me as a kid. I'm just like, wow, that's so creative. I don't know how you can think of that. But I used to suck at coloring. I used to suck at so many things. I'm just like, no, fuck this. I'm not gonna. I can't deal with this, man.
You were way too woke as a kid. I feel like you and I are very similar. We're just on autopilot.
Yes.
Right? 99% of your
Oh,
childhood, right? And then maybe I don't know about you lah. Generally, women tend to mature faster lah. I was like 21 before I actually like woke up. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm alive.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know when it hit me either. But yeah, to answer your question, no, I don't think there was any specific cartoons that made me want to pursue this path. It's just natural to me.
Oh,
Want to pursue something like this.
maybe you gotta be at that level, man.
I think
I
so
was
lah.
always in awe, you know, of everything, you know. Like I remember A Bug's Life. You know what's the craziest thing about Bug's Life? I don't know whether you remember this. Do you know how they drink water?
Yeah, the leaf.
No, it's not just the leaf.
But it's the leaf though.
No, they hold the water, Drew. They hold a water.
Oh, yeah, it's like a bubble. Yeah,
They hold a droplet. And you're just like, dude, that's genius. Because in real life, because you're so big, right, we're humans, right, water's just like, everywhere, you know, you get wet. But you know when you're an ant, you can step on water. So they just hold water and then they drink water in the bar, you know, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
They do that.
and then they get drunk off honey. I'm like, yeah, right.
Bloody Mary or something.
Yeah, the mosquito.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, wow, this is so creative to me. So to me, I just always, like, the physics always amazed me, right? Then every time you watch, and it just got better, man. And I think the peak for me was Samurai Jack. Holy crap-a-moly, bro. Samurai Jack is shit that, like, I will break the law for, you know. Like, my dad would tell me, you go to bed at 9. I'm like, nope, not going to bed at 9.
Gotta watch Samurai
I'm
Jack.
going to watch Samurai Jack. Have you seen Samurai Jack?
I never really followed it, but of course I'm aware of it. Yeah.
They did like a part 2, how Samurai Jack returns home. Yeah, and when I think I told you to watch it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, I told my wife Jen to watch it with me, and she was like, I don't understand Samurai Jack. I'm like, too bad lah. Just watch the first one. So you rewatch the first one, then you watch the second one. Dude, I can tell you can confirm cry one.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. And Samurai Jack is actually designed by a white dude. It's not even by a Japanese dude.
Oh.
Yeah, it talks about so much about like inner meaning and part your life. And you know, as a kid when you watch the shit, you're like, wow, man. Or maybe it's just me lah. Just a woke ass kid lah. Fuck you guys, man. You're making me sound like I don't know. And there's so much thought that went through my brain, you know. I don't know whether it's just like I should have been on autopilot too lah.
You were very aware.
Yeah, this is not things you should be thinking about as a kid, I feel.
Oh man, maybe just too much. I don't know. But then my dad took away my cartoons. I told you this as well, right? And then that's why I just went into manga and anime. There's no choice. Yeah. When did you ever stop watching cartoons?
I feel like, yeah, maybe when I entered high school or something like that.
But you still wanted to pursue illustration despite of all this.
Yeah. Because
Wow.
it's like a hobby anyway, and just might as well go with it. Yeah.
Did you know that you were better than most people at it?
I
Did you have that realization as a
mean,
kid?
I don't like to think like that, but there's not many people who can draw in my batch at the time. So
got it.
It's true. It's true.
Because I think like if I were in your position, I think
To who draws Hans Landa realistically at 18 years old in like perfect composition with a specific scene saying, please wait for the cream. That is so specific, dude.
yeah, the talent would have carried me through lah. Yeah. I think I guess I struggled to empathize because I didn't have any talent of that particular nature that really stood out as a child, and then I knew like this one it's
I had
hole in one to begin with.
Same
kind of
thing. Same as me. But to me, maybe I was just overwhelmed. Yeah. But knowing this, right, it was actually, it must be quite difficult because, normally, right, if you were to improve, you need to find someone that's a bit better than you.
Yeah.
And then you have this like healthy like rivalry. And it's only when I grew older, I realized rivalry is necessary. And I don't have rivalry now, which I feel like maybe is why I'm stagnating in some sense. Like I don't really improve a lot compared to when I was a younger kid. Like for me, I saw you as like, wow, I should really at least try to hit your level. There's always like a level to hit.
Yeah, because then you know that
You're
at least
improving.
with respect to what you can see at that point in time, you know where the ceiling is lah.
Yeah, at
So
least.
it's-
At
it's good
least.
to know that that's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the moment I left Sri KL and I went to a very small government school, it was only like 20 people in one class per grade. So it's like there are 6 grades, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Literally only one class per grade. So standard 1 is only one class, standard 2 only one class, up to standard 6, only one class for standard 6 students. And only like 20 people in one class. And it gets lesser. So in standard 1, there's like 40 people. In the standard 6 class, there's like 18 people. So there's really nobody I can like benchmark my work to. Yeah. But when I went to high school, then things changed. There are a lot of people who are better. But did you feel like when you were in high school, there were a lot of people that you were still better than then?
I mean, well, like I said, people in my batch, not
Not
many
many?
of them draw, but what I do instead is maybe look at other artists online. Yeah, so that's the people I look up to lah. Last time what we used was DeviantArt.
Bro,
That
I
the
was
thing.
just about to say that.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that. Holy shit. Is this still a thing?
I think a lot of people have left DeviantArt because of the AI thing. So
Oh, yeah. Dude, that's such a major throwback, man. I think DeviantArt is like, I think even standard 2, standard 3, we used to go to the computer lab, open up DeviantArt, and then like compare. I don't know, is it standard 4? I don't remember. In the computer lab, I used to go. Actually, Sri KL is where I learned how to use PowerPoint as well,
Wow.
Yeah.
The hallmark of your success.
Yeah, actually, my PowerPoint is probably my strongest point now. But I remember we used to do that, and we used to go to the computer lab, and then we go in DeviantArt. And then I even created an account there.
nice. Did you post anything?
I did.
Oh.
I designed a skateboard. So I bought a board, literally I bought a board, I painted it white, and then I drew the 7 swordsmen of the mist from Naruto. And then I put it there and I uploaded it on DeviantArt, and I got a lot of comments. I'm just like, wow, validation.
Yeah, I remember you did that.
Yeah. But then the moment I showed it to my uncle's like, you missed out on so many details. I'm just like, I'm a piece of shit.
I'm a piece of shit.
I was just so bad at it. I'm like, I cannot measure up. The details are just my weakness, I feel. But when you went to One Academy, right, did you know that you were going to a place where like competition was like damn hardcore? Where like it was did you know that it was going to be very competitive?
That's what I heard, but usually I don't really compare myself to others. I just can do my own thing and ignore everything else.
Oh, damn. I wish I had that, man. Me is just like, I don't know. Maybe the harshest critic is yourself.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I envy personality types like yours. Just, it's very,
You're at peace, man.
yeah, you're at peace, man. You're zen. Goddamn.
I could be quite turbulent in my head, but yeah, I appear to be peaceful. I don't know. Yeah.
But when you were studying at TOA, right? Did you like look at others and go like, damn, this guy's got talent, man?
Yeah, definitely got. But I
Yeah.
just don't feel like, I need to be better than that guy. No. I'm not competitive by nature.
Oh. But currently in your current workspace, do you feel like there are people who are just like naturally talented that are like, you know that they are going somewhere and maybe they can do better?
I feel like, yeah, there are a few people like that in the company, but then again, I don't know everyone, so it's hard
But
to say.
those
though.
the handful that you do lah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have that too? Like you know you can like you know you can do better in a different place.
Actually, yes. To
Right?
be honest, yes.
You see?
Because I feel like I've studied abroad and everything, so I should know what
The standards are.
Yeah. So I'm trying to work towards that also. So maybe ultimate goal is to go overseas, but also the industry right now is a bit volatile, I would say.
Meaning?
Okay, so during the COVID
Pandemic.
pandemic thing, there was like mass hiring of people
Locally?
globally.
Globally?
Yeah,
Oh shit. Okay.
because everyone was at home, so people
that's
needed
true.
something to watch and like
Yeah,
games to
way.
play. So yeah, because of that, the economy was like booming at the time. But now it's slowly
Tapering.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, because everyone has returned to work and everything, and so there's not really a need for these people anymore. So now you might hear stories of layoffs everywhere.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like just recently, this one I can say lah. Sony, they laid off I think 900 people worldwide.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
what?
suppose your type of industry is very dependent on the growth of the gaming sector,
Entertainment.
entertainment in general. Gaming across the board has been getting their ass kicked post COVID.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
Really?
across the board. Yeah,
Bro, the number one most downloaded game is Pokemon Go, right? No way?
it doesn't matter. The industry as a whole, the pie shrunk. So somebody has to get axed. Maybe it's not Niantic lah. I don't know the specific numbers.
Actually, nah, they laid off a lot of
But,
people too.
yeah, the likes of Garena, everybody lah. They're laying off people. So then
Oh, that's why Justin, bro.
your gaming sector dips.
Oh,
and
shit.
Therefore, animation will tend to take a hit, I suppose. Depends on what proportion of income your company is deriving from the gaming sector. So if like say 80% of your business's income comes from the gaming sector, then if the gaming sector takes a
Oh my
hit, then you take a bigger hit lah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So it's the same for animation also right now. Yeah. There are cases where people, the project is completed, and then a movie, let's say, it's finished and everything. Suddenly, the network or whatever cancels it, all gone down the drain. Yeah, and you can't really show that work that you did to anyone also until maybe a certain number of years because of the NDA and things like that. So yeah,
I see.
so it's pretty sad also lah.
Are there any things that you can disclose that you've worked on?
No.
Oh shit.
I mean, I'd rather not say here, but yeah.
Oh, you tell me after pod lah later.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she did mention how like you can see her name in the credits.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, man.
That must be very validating, actually.
Yeah. Actually,
Given how hard you worked on
Yeah.
this particular
I
project.
know a person from our high school, so I can even disclose who it is. It's Rachel Ho. She's my senior, and I'm close to her sister Renee Ho. And Rachel Ho worked on The Mandalorian, man.
Oh,
She's based in Sydney, and she's the one of the R&D team to do the screen for Mandalorian. You know that wraparound screen where the lighting is like perfect. Because you don't need to go outdoors now. You just need to do the outdoor image and then like the video of it. And then you have the proper lighting lah. Then you just bokeh the shit out of your background lah, right?
Yeah.
yeah. Then it looks like the Mandalorian is walking around like some lagoon or some shit like that.
Very cool.
Yeah, she's part of the team. And she's part of the R&D team. So it's like only like 6 to 8 names, and her name's there. Saujanian.
Nice.
Yeah, man. It's so crazy. I feel when you see that, your work is like 100%, you're in like almost history.
Yeah.
Years down the road, people will watch that show and you can fucking find your name there. That's insane, man. That's like legacy right there, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I always aspire to do something like that, but I know it's never gonna happen with me lah. Talent-wise, cannot. It's hard, man. So during COVID, I'm assuming that there are a lot of times where opportunities were in abundance. Did you get a chance to do overseas work?
Well, with my studio, yeah, we still got like steady flow of work coming in and things like that. But outside of that, no.
Oh,
I
sure.
mean, I do a bit of freelance also when I'm free.
But
Yeah.
can you say which freelance work that you worked on, or you cannot say also?
It's not really related to animation. Okay, my freelance work is more like doing commissions.
Okay.
You know what
Commission
art
work?
commissions? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like for example, I'm on Twitter and I have like some art posted on there, and then a potential client, which is like some random person somewhere, and they are interested in asking me to draw their characters in my style. So yeah, that's what I do from time to time. You get paid in USD.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Dude, Jen loves that shit. My wife loves that shit. She commissioned like a couple of times to draw me and her together with my dog and 2 cats. Multiple times. It's like the second or third time already. Yeah, she loves that shit. There's a real market for it.
Yes.
People love that customized.
So you are drawing?
No, I'm not drawing. She finds someone to draw, like Jen and me, like in a portrait photo or like family.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Actually, I have a keychain of me and Jen. We got married. Like I'm in my suit and she's in her wedding dress. It's quite cool. I'll show you later.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. But there is a market for it. Yeah.
Okay.
But how do you promote yourself in that sense though?
Typically, people discover you through fandoms. You do fan art of that particular fandom, and then people will find you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to say?
No, I rather not.
Oh, shit. I'll go later, fine.
Very specific fandom, so might be able to find me.
Oh, is that niche lah?
Yeah, it's quite niche.
Damn man, I don't know how do you do that, man. Do you watch mostly Japanese or do you watch mostly American? Do you watch mostly what are some of your influences though for your art?
Oh, a whole bunch of random things. Lately I feel like I play more Japanese games.
Okay.
Films I like to watch. Tarantino
Oh.
back in the day.
Yeah lah, the Inglourious Basterds thing lah, right?
Yeah. But yeah, these days I honestly don't really watch a lot of things.
It's a difficulty, you know. It is a difficulty. You know, when you're in the creative industry, and I always say this, because when people work too hard, they forget that inspiration comes from your free time.
Mm-hmm.
It is, man. You know when you I don't know about you lah. I don't know about both of you lah, because now I sound like I'm a woke motherfucker lah, right? But when I was a kid, right, when you have so much time to think. And when I think of things, I'm just like, oh, I could do it that way. But you know when you're doing operating stuff, because you grow older, right? You have to pay for bills. You gotta go to your job,
Straight up.
gotta make people happy. Those things get in the way of creativity. Then you just bow down to the structure of things. And then you forget that life you can do so much, man. If you go on holiday just one time, and then you don't even look at your phone lah. It's very hard lah. It's very hard to say this lah, because most of the time you're like using a map to get to a place, checking out a review, doing an Insta story, whatever lah, right? You forget, man, that like shit out. That's why like Japanese animation, they just draw like what it is what it is. They just don't go beyond that, right? And there's always somebody dying, one, confirm one.
Yeah. Very difficult to detach yourself.
You gotta get back into it, man. Don't you think?
Yeah. But also for me, I
it
feel
time?
like it's also time because now we're so used to seeing short form content. So watching a film takes effort.
It does.
This is like 1.5 hours long and sitting there just twiddling my thumbs. I cannot do anything. I'm very nervous. I need to do something. So yeah.
Have you seen Dune?
No.
Oh my god.
I know people praised it, but yeah, I am kind of behind.
Dune was crazy, man. I feel. I watched the first Dune, not the Denis Villeneuve one. I watched the one in like 1980 something. Yeah, when I was a kid, because my mom and dad had the pirated CD one. Then I watched it, I'm like, wow, big worm. That's so cool. Then you always think like, what would a big, I don't know, insect look like, or a big animal? So you scale. Then when I watched this one, I'm just like, dude, this guy, the director of Dune, Denis Villeneuve, he had that same thinking, man. It's like, what if I did it this way, or what if I shaped it that way? Because he read the book before he watched the first movie.
Okay.
So in his imagination, a lot of the certain shots that he directed is in his imagination. And I swear to God, it's only a kid can think of this type of shit. You know how like, okay, so we're deviating a little bit, but when Andrew and I were younger, when our dad took away our cartoons, took away our Game Boys, took away our PlayStations, there's nothing to play. There's nothing. You can't even watch TV because TV is most of the time AXN is either like Fear Factor or like
Amazing Race.
Amazing Race or some
Amazing Race was great though. I
yeah,
should
but you know,
rewatch that.
when you're really young, the time like 9 years old,
Yeah.
you wouldn't relate, man.
Yeah, probably not.
So we would just lie down on the couch and just imagine things happening to us.
yeah.
You just imagine like you're going through.
No fucking entertainment, dude. It was criminal. What kind of parenting is that?
But don't you think that time imagination was top tier?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you just don't have that anymore. So you should totally watch Dune, man. So good. Yeah, I my God. But okay, so maybe going back to you saying, right, you watch TV shows, you watch movies like Tarantino movies. Are there specific things that like really struck you, or like were there like movies or cartoons that really struck you that went like, damn man, those are creative moments that you want to like that have influenced your work?
I feel like none in particular. When it comes to films and TV anyway, I feel like I get more inspiration from games these days.
Okay,
Yeah.
what are some of the games that you play?
I also don't want to say because it's related
Oh
to the
shit lah yo! So specific.
Very, yeah, very specific.
Too niche.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I
ayo.
wish I could say. But yeah, Japanese games, that's what I can say.
Is it console or PC?
It's on both.
Ensemble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ayo.
Big games then. How do you feel about this whole AI situation?
Yes. Was waiting for that question. Yeah. I know that a lot of artists are against it. I am as well. I can see that it can be a useful tool in certain situations, but the way it's being used right now, it's kind of like I don't know, misuse of people's works basically, because
Right.
the AI trains on existing artworks and things
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, it goes into that whole ethical use issue, whatever it
Yeah,
is.
because
Right.
you're the origin, right? So
Yeah.
technically they're using the original too.
Yeah. Like, okay, several years ago, there's this artist named Kim Jung-gi. I think you guys should like
Search it. How do you spell that?
Kim Jung-gi.
Kim Jong-gi.
Yeah.
Jung-gi.
Very famous Korean artist who has like, I don't know, photographic memory or something. So when he passed away suddenly, shortly after his passing actually, some person started generating AI images out of his work, and they're trying to say it's a homage to him. So
Right, but is
Yeah.
it really? Because
it's not. It's
Yeah, could be.
very
Wow.
disrespectful because the guy just passed away, and all this. He doesn't do any underdrawings. He just stands there and just draw on the spot. It's a performance basically.
wow.
Yeah. If you could see like videos or something.
I could never do this, man. I could never do this. This is 100% just you're born with this type of talent.
Yeah, this guy is insane. Perspective, everything is on point.
I'm so shit at perspective also, to be honest. How did he pass away?
I think heart attack.
Oh, fucking
Yeah.
hell, dude. He looks quite fit some more, lah.
Quite young also. I think he was like,
50?
in late 40s, 47 it says.
Wow. 9/11. Damn, man.
So the issue then is not so much AI itself, but the fact that it's not giving credit to the origin of AI's inspiration, so to speak. Is that the issue?
That seems to be the general consensus. And also it doesn't look nice lah. Yeah, because like I feel like there's a lot of people who lost their jobs also because of AI
Right.
now. And you might have seen like ads out there where they use AI generated images. It just doesn't look right. Everything's super smooth. They're missing fingers.
Oh my god, the
Yeah.
finger thing is a big thing.
Yeah.
The finger thing is horrible.
Like they don't get the scale of fingers,
Bro, it looks like an alien, Drew. Just search fingers AI, bro. Have you not seen fingers?
No.
But they are the shittiest at doing fingers for now, lah. AI is always ever growing. Do you remember that Will Smith video of him eating spaghetti?
Yes, yes.
That's just horrifying. But today, AI is crazy. Check it. There you go.
Yeah, that shit ain't right, man. I don't know about you, but
The problem is they're getting a bit better at this now.
Yeah.
So yeah, quite frightening.
You see? AI hasn't gotten fingers right.
Well, not in
Yet.
these examples, but in some examples, other examples, yeah, it's quite close.
Yeah. But you get the point, lah.
Yeah.
You can pull up. Have you seen the Will Smith spaghetti one?
no, I don't think I have.
Oh shit! Search Will Smith spaghetti AI, AI movie lah, spaghetti whatever lah. Search spaghetti. SPAGHE. Fuck it lah. You know they will fucking spaga. Dude, are you serious, bro? Spaga. SPAGHETTI. Yeah, but like it's this video of him just stuffing himself with spaghetti. It looks horrible because the proportions are off. See?
And he made a parody of this also, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not that one. Not that one. Up.
The
top
first
left.
one.
Yeah. So this was last year, and then the new Will Smith eating spaghetti is even better. So
That one is real. It's actually him. It's not
Oh, it's
AI.
really him?
Yeah, it's actually him. It's just a parody.
oh okay. See, it's really bad. But have you seen that new AI video where like people are walking in Japan and everything?
Yes, I think it's called Sora or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Insane.
Insane.
Yeah, you can't even tell. Especially there was this drone shot of a car that's driving through a jungle. Incredible. You cannot tell. Even I really like if you saw it, you're just like, wow, the cameraman steady, man. But you realize, no way. How do you go through a jungle like that? Confirm the drone kena. So that's when you put two and two together. But that's because like AI hasn't gotten to that point yet. But I think it's very difficult, to get past that. Maybe can you elaborate on how a lot of artists lose their jobs through AI, at least locally, or only mostly of them are international that lose their jobs?
I personally know one person working in Europe who lost their job probably because of AI. Because they work in their art style is quite realistic. So AI can kind of replicate that. Now the funny thing is AI is quite bad at replicating cartoons. Which is I don't know.
that's
I guess I get to
interesting.
keep my job. So. I guess.
It is tough, man. I feel.
Yeah.
It is tough, man. Like I don't know where that line is wrong because in some ways it helps so much. Like for my job at least, like when it comes to stupid text, like dummy text,
Yeah, yeah.
I
There's a
save
lot of
so much
merit.
time. But when it comes to art, I feel so sad about it too.
Yes.
Yeah. But you can tell though, you're absolutely right. Sometimes the when it's too finished, and the little things that are, but that's why Japan is really good for all those like custom stuff,
Oh, yeah.
like it's like what's that term? It's like a shokunin. Shokunin is kind of like an artist of his specific craft. So for example, if he does pottery, right, he will only sell like 10 cups or like 20 cups.
I see.
And it's like, oh, these cups are only by him. It's not made in a factory. It's made by him. There are little mistakes. There are grooves in the cup that are like shaped to his fingers. That type of thing, lah. So in some ways, like, it does increase the value of certain forms of art. It's just that unfortunately there are some forms of art that suffer the price of this growth, lah.
Yeah, yeah. And it's also not just, unfortunately, not just art also. I think so many jobs are going to be impacted across the board. You've got Grab drivers who are probably, you can't even, give it 20 years, maybe even 10 at this rate.
Yeah.
Probably won't even have Grab drivers. It's all just going to be self-driving cars. You've got, I don't know, even if you think you're damn good at numbers and you're safe, that's totally false. You can automate accounting at this point.
I met
Finances.
a group from Estonia, and like this lady told me that they deliver food with robots in Estonia.
That's it lah.
That I just like, wait, what do you mean? She was like, you just order food off the app, and then the food will come to you, to your front door, in like a motorized robot with wheels. And I'm just like, no way. She's like, wait, you don't have this in Malaysia? I'm like, where in the world does this? I'm like, what do you mean? She was like, yeah, it's quite common, man. Then she showed me the video of like a little robot that has like a case over it,
Yeah.
and it just drives with the food. And then the case opens up, and then you just collect your food in front of your door.
God damn.
Yeah, man. Estonia, man.
Of all places, huh?
Yeah, and Estonia is like the tech capital in Europe now, I think, or something like that. I don't know.
Right,
She was saying. So that's why there's a lot of investment into it.
And you have like, I think there's the first no manpower McDonald's somewhere in the US.
Wow.
I forget where. It's a very random state. It's not one of your urban centers.
To Google that shit. Self-powered McDonald's?
Something like there's no manpower. There's nobody operating this McDonald's one. It's just there. Then I think it's a drive-through model at this point. You go in, you order, fucking assembly line just assembles
Creates that
whatever.
burger, they
I'm
order lah.
assuming the menu is also very finite to minimize the operational automation, but the concept is there.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they just like shove the burger over to the shelf and you just pick it up and go. So if you couple it together with robots that deliver it to you,
McDonald's gone.
and then where do you even draw the line after that, right? Like the line is God knows where. Basically, we all know job already lah. Just stay at home and.
But I always feel there is a room for artists. They always say that AI can create, but I don't think it's the same.
Yeah, because I think there have been cases where people try to make, I don't know, films or something with AI, but who's gonna watch it? Who's this for?
Yeah.
It's just all over the place.
I also feel that you know Tarantino, right? When you watch a Tarantino movie, and Inglourious Basterds,
Yeah.
and you know that scene where like he orders 3 glasses. Is it dry glass? He said he does this. He doesn't do this.
Oh.
He does this. Say dry glass. It's like 3 glasses of whiskey. Then the guy looks at him, and he's like, "You're a fucking spy, man. Just a fucking spy. You're a spy in this German army. Because in Germany, you order 3 like this. You don't order 3 like this. Who the fuck can think of this shit?" This really plot twist, because right, the whole time the guy's just like looking. You nearly got me, man. I nearly walked away from this table, man. But you ordered it this way. So now I know you're a spy. Then later on, like 2 minutes later, the guy points a fucking gun at his crotch. He's like, "I'm going to say goodbye to your Father's Day." That shit.
Very
Yeah,
specific,
man. Yeah. So I think it really takes a lot of effort, but maybe it also pushes people in the creative industry to go further,
Yes, it does.
right?
Yeah.
Because you can't be lazy. Not anymore. Oh, Texas, man.
Texas.
Joe Rogan experience, man. Fort Worth, Texas. Fully automated. Requires no human contact to order and pick up your favorite meal. Damn. Oh, it looks pretty dope, man.
Yeah, it's pretty dope because it's a totally new outlet, so it looks nice.
McDonald's in the US is so trash.
100%.
Have you been to McDonald's in the US?
Oh yeah. It's one of the first places where I got breakfast when I landed.
Oh, shit. Was it ghetto?
It
Columbus?
wasn't. But I was like pretty surprised to be able to get coffee and a breakfast sandwich for $2.
Oh.
Yeah,
I think
super
I
cheap, yeah.
accidentally ordered off the dollar menu or something like that. I don't know.
Right. It's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
First time I went to McDonald's, I thought I was going to get stabbed, man. The McDonald's in San Francisco, I remember I went. I just like, no wonder Uncle Chong Ham said, "Don't come here." Yeah, because we had an uncle and an aunt that lived in SF. So I studied in SF, and when I went with Andrew when I was like young, I think my uncle asked me like, "Oh, where do you want to eat?" Then we were like, "Oh, I want to eat McDonald's." He's like, "Who asks to go to McDonald's, man? You guys are so weird." And then we were like, "But McDonald's is so good." He was like, "Are you guys crazy?" Then he brought us there, and then we were eating with him, and we were enjoying it, man. We were like, "Oh my god, 20 nuggets, hell yeah." Barbecue sauce, hell yeah, with the nuggets. Then you have a fillet of fish. Then we ask, and he just like sits there watching us. He doesn't even eat. He's just watching us and judging us. And he's like, "You guys are so weird." And we asked him like, "Why is it weird? When was the last time you came to McDonald's?" Then he's like, 20 years ago. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. For
He
sure.
said 20 years ago. Dude, how do you survive without McDonald's for 20 years, man?
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's like, "Nah, no one comes to McDonald's." And later on, when I went to the US, this is just when we were kids. When I went to the US and I studied there, then you know why nobody goes to McDonald's.
Yeah. I would argue it's worse in New York, lah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, New York is really, really like you got death wish, lah.
But it seems nice in Columbus.
I guess so, but then maybe New York because you have like plenty of options there. Better
Yeah, no, but
options.
it's also the general hygiene and safety because of the type of people who are there.
Even Burger King is pretty bad.
Yeah, like across the board, like, it's grimy, man. Grimy. You go there when you're desperado already.
I don't even think you would cross your mind, honestly speaking.
Yeah.
Right?
Just go to a bodega, lah, right? I mean,
Yeah. Hey, sorry, I forgot. I don't know whether you mentioned this, but did you mention which school did you go to in Columbus? Or you know?
I didn't specify, but I'll just say it's called Columbus College of Art and Design.
Oh.
Yeah.
How did you stumble across that school?
Oh, funny story because my mom's friend's niece
Wow, that's a stone's throw away.
this
Mom's
Thai,
friend's niece?
Thai lady basically. She used to study in this school, so therefore my mom's like, hey, why not you like apply to this school as well? Because this lady went on to become like a story artist or something at Disney. She was like one of the big guys for one of the recent Disney films.
Are you allowed to say which Disney?
Wish, yeah. It's called
Wish?
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but
I haven't seen Wish either, but it's okay. I'm guilty as that. I'm good. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, my mom's like, yeah, why don't you be like her? I'm like, no.
But in the end, you went, right?
Yeah, I did because I didn't really do my research anyway, and also because Ohio is not that expensive. So-
What were your other options?
Actually, I also applied to Academy of Art.
Oh my God, SF, right?
Yes.
Dude, I also nearly applied there.
Oh,
Yeah. The campus looks so sick. I went on YouTube, I saw the campus, I saw all the, I'm like, wow, I could totally study. I was like going to pivot. Yeah, but I nearly went there too. But it's not a very big campus. Because when I went to the campus itself, I'm like, oh, actually it's just a building. Yeah. But it's like red color logo, right?
yes.
Yeah, man. Oh shit. Oh, okay. And any others?
Those were the only two
The only
schools I
two?
applied to. Yeah. Sorry.
No, go for it.
Oh, because I didn't know that it was a thing to apply to multiple schools at once. Again, I'm the first child. I don't know what I'm doing, so guinea pig.
it's facts, man.
Yeah, so
Can
okay
relate.
lah, just do whatever lah. But there are other animation schools. There are plenty of them actually in like California side. Yeah,
But California is so expensive, man.
yeah, it is. It is.
It is, man. Even the fees, the tuition fees for Academy of Art was ridiculous. And it's not that old as well. I feel like maybe odd 30, if I'm not mistaken. Could you just Google Academy of Art Wikipedia, just so I don't sound like I'm a guy that's just spitting shit I don't know.
30K a year.
A lot more, man.
More than that.
A lot more. I remember like Academy of Art was like considered premium. But like that's why I felt like I don't know when I want to go there either. You know? Because to me, I felt like I didn't have the talent. It's not worth pouring money into like basic B art. You know, I just thought to myself, I'd rather learn how to sell something that's good rather than do something that's good. I can't do good. Academy of Art. 1929 as Academy of Advertising Art. Yeah, see? Stevens took over 1992 at Dr.
Looks
Alexander.
fancy though.
Yeah, but it's just a building. It looks greater there than it is in real life. But then I don't know. I wasn't sold. Yeah. But I think the school I went to wasn't as good either, to be honest. I went to University of San Francisco and honestly, I don't think I learned much either. Yeah. Speaking of which, right, in your school in the US, did you feel like the standards there were a lot higher than what you studied in TOA over here?
How to say? I feel like TOA standards is a lot higher.
Oh, shit.
I feel, but that's also because of the lecturers lah. The Malaysian lecturers are a bit more, you have to do this thing a certain way, otherwise you will fail, blah blah blah. Whereas in the US, you get a bit more freedom. They just let you do anything. And they're more supportive lah. I feel.
In the US?
Yeah, the teachers.
Did you grow more in one or did you grow more in Columbus, do you feel?
I want to say artistically, maybe in Columbus lah, to be honest. There's more freedom. Yeah.
I would feel the same way actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the direction of one is always, I need to drill the basics into you.
Yeah.
And then later on, when you are free to break free from the basics is another challenge, And I think in art it's quite tough because if you don't respect the foundation of certain things, you can never really go far in some ways because you're always thinking that your way is superior because it feeds your ego when people say your shit is good. So I think they kind of like bury you with like the sins of 1,000 years. Then after that, you feel like shit only. Then when you really have your freedom, you're like, oh, I guess I can explore. You know, how long were you there for?
In Columbus, total of about 2 years. Yeah, roughly. Because I transferred.
Because you half lah.
I finished studying at the one, and then I just transferred some credits over.
I see.
Because 4 full years, no man.
Yeah, it's expensive. It is. Did you ever consider working in the US then?
Yeah, I actually tried to look for jobs, but I think you guys might know how difficult it is for international students.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Started smoking because of it.
I remember.
Those were dark times, man. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, for me it was tough. But I think in the art industry it was tough.
Yeah.
You know, in the creative industry at that time it was like almost peak, man.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm not mistaken, those years were like the first year Avengers came out. You know, 2012. When did you study there?
2012, I was like still in TUA.
Oh, you were still in TUA. I
Yeah.
was 2012 in the US already,
Yeah.
and it was the Avengers already. It's like, bro, to be able to work on shit like that, like no way, a rando Malaysian dude can work on that shit.
I mean, the expectation was not to work on the Avengers. The expectation was just get a job, which in itself was an insurmountable task.
Yeah.
Convincing them for sponsorship. You
Yeah.
apply, then you have to freaking admit that you need a visa sponsorship. Then you tick that box, you're like, fuck it, lah.
And then also location matters lah, because in Ohio, where are the studios? All of the animation
Cali.
studios are in Cali.
I was there also lah. And I even went for physical interview lah. I think I went for 60 interviews lah.
Wow.
Yeah, I applied I applied 200 applications, attended 60 interviews, I think like only 10 second level interviews, and none of them, even like I think 5 of them like sat me in a room right privately and just apologized profusely to me and saying like, actually you really meet the cut, but like I really cannot do it because of the visa. I'm just like, it's okay lah. I'm just a statistic to you lah. Fuck it lah. I just chow on it lah. I was so upset, man. I went through depression because of that shit, man. Yeah, but when you come back Malaysia, straight away get a job already lah. Was it easy for you to find a job in Malaysia when you got back?
To be honest, I didn't actively look. Because like I said, I just waltzed into one.
That's how easy it is.
I mean, it really depends on the timing lah. Because sometimes the projects they require people, sometimes they don't. So it's seasonal.
I see. Do you think there is a lot of room for it to grow despite the whole AI thing in Malaysia? I feel like Malaysia is always lacking behind, so I feel like we got a lot of time. I don't know whether it's just me.
I think it really depends on what's happening in the West, I guess. If you're depending on outsourced work, because a lot of the work is sent to Malaysia and the Philippines.
Vietnam.
We can speak English, that's why lah.
Oh.
Easier to communicate with them. But for like IPs, it's very hard to say. It really depends. Yeah, on the investors and all those.
Yeah. It is tough, man.
It is.
Yeah. These days are tough. Honestly, people like your brother have it the toughest. Gen Alpha, Jesus Christ. Job market.
Is he considered Gen Alpha? I think he's considered Gen Z lah.
Gen Z.
I think at the
At the cusp of Z,
yeah.
Yeah.
Born 1990, no, 2000
something lah.
No, 1999.
9, yes.
Oh, still
99
no
is Z
lah.
lah.
Still
99 is
Z,
Z.
Still Z. Okay lah. But Gen Alpha, whoo, tough, man.
Yeah.
Horrid.
Yeah. But then again, that's what a lot of people said about our generation too, I feel. Like for Gen Y, a lot of them felt like, oh shit, man, social media, how lah you're gonna, but we did it great, man. Sometimes I feel we always look at the unknowns as negatives, but you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know until it really happens, and then we always find a way. And also by right, I feel like population is decreasing, so who else is going to take the spots, right? It's probably like a robot, right?
It actually is bad news that the population is declining.
Yeah, because it can't sustain, right?
Yeah, your GDP in general will fall. Corporations will see a dip in earnings, fewer people buying in general. Then they'll scale back headcount. and then rely on AI.
And then Terminator 2.
Yeah, and that's pretty bleak, lah. Yeah, fuck.
Probably first time in the history of the stock market to take huge dips, like huge dips for a while then, before it comes back up again.
Time to invest, though.
I don't know if I want another pandemic to happen so that people can get more jobs. At least in the entertainment side, but I think other industries will be affected quite bad also.
But I think, it's always one or the other that's suffering, right? Even that Netflix boom, like that's why Netflix is so booming. Even Disney Plus is booming, right? During pandemic, it was crazy, right? A lot of shows. And then like now it's just, I don't even look forward to anything.
Yeah, Netflix also keeps cancelling stuff.
Oh,
what
is
I hear.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. They also did layoffs, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
God damn.
Savage season, bro.
I don't know what industry is doing well. What industry is doing well?
What is doing well?
Whoa, if Andrew has to think for that long, that's fucked up, man. Shit.
Yeah, I can't really say. I guess if you look at your FMCG sectors, your absolute monopolies, your Coca-Colas, your Unilevers, these companies are doing okay because they can jack up prices. It doesn't matter.
Oh, because it's dependent. People are dependent to some extent already.
They are the sheer market movers, like 80-90% market share. I jack up my kind of Coke by $1, you can't say anything. It kind of is what it is. And like Coke and Pepsi, let's say, right? These two guys, they are probably talking to each other and say, hey, my guy, you raise 50 cents. I align with you lah. You take away Coke and Pepsi, up 50 cents, right? Already lah, bro. There's nothing else to drink already lah. And note that PepsiCo owns like a million different things. Coca-Cola company owns a million different things, right? If they decide to jack up prices together, they cover 98% of the market. Market has no say in it.
Then you drink Lotus Cola. Or like Giant Cola. I don't know.
Only these types of companies would do okay lah. Yeah.
I mean, since we didn't really mention where you work right now, right? Are there like specific projects you feel personally that you really want to work on in the future? Like dream projects, you know?
I personally don't exactly have a dream project, but it would be nice to work in adult animation. By adult, I mean not safe for work things, but something that's a bit more geared towards an older audience.
Is there an example?
I don't have any examples, but if
like Berserk, like Berserk. Have you heard of Berserk?
Yeah, but I don't follow.
Okay.
Yeah. But if I were to come up with an example in my head, maybe like let's say an animated Tarantino thing, that would be pretty cool.
I see.
Yeah.
Is there like a studio that you feel, or like an animation production house, any company you feel like you're gearing, that would be your dream to work there?
No specific ones in mind at the moment, because I maybe last time I would say Netflix, but then you see what they're doing right now.
Oh,
so
that's true. You kind of want that stability, right? I feel.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why a lot of us, when we hit that 30-ish, a lot of people find it very difficult to switch jobs because you kind of find your rhythm. I really see that a lot of my friends, when they hit that 30-ish, they're just like, nah, it's all right lah. I'll just roll the punches, I'll just stick around. The 20s are the jumping era. You feel like you're trying to find your footing. You're trying to settle down in a place where you feel like you could spend a long time. And then later on, when you hit your 30s, you just feel like, I'm just going to hunker down here and just grow here, lor. I feel, right?
It's a lot of effort to move jobs.
It is, man.
Yeah, being the new kid in town, not a fun position to be in. You got to prove your worth. You got to understand the politics. It's a whole lot of work.
You got to play the game, lah.
Yeah.
You got to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It is tough.
Yeah, one thing I didn't get to touch upon is the animation industry in the West. From what I see, people are always looking for work every 6 months or so because the jobs are all contract-based, project-based kind of thing. So once the thing wraps up, they have to look for something else.
Oh yeah,
every time.
I did see an interview on the Writers Guild having this protest at one point because they feel like, okay, so this is the process, right? There are always senior writers and there are junior writers. So the senior writers are usually the ones that write the overall script. The junior writers are the ones that fill in the blanks. Like, for example, certain like useless monologues like, look, there's a cat or some stuff like that. And they will phrase it in a way that they feel as if the casting is appropriate for that sentence. So after they fill everything, then the perk of this, right, is the senior writer brings all the junior writers on set to watch it pan out. Because that would help them a lot with the fine-tuning of the next script. Because the next episode would be a bit different, or the overarching season would be different. So bring all the junior writers to there. So because this writers strike, you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, they omit all the junior writers now. So senior writers do the overarching, the overall script, and then AI just fills in. Ooh. And then the budget only allows for senior writer to attend the set. So all the writers are like, what the fuck, dude? You think what? So the senior writers were actually protecting junior writers, and they were like, okay lah, if that's the case, then I just won't write lah. And that's why there was a whole halt in movie production. A lot of things were delayed, postponed, etc. Like Deadpool, Wolverine, postponed. Yeah. Even like Kang, the Avengers one, all postponed, push. Blade pushed, everything pushed. So it was a huge thing. And it is what it is, right? The industry is just dependent on them also in some ways. Yes. Yeah. But for projects like movies like that, I don't know, man. It's just so many layers, you know.
Yeah.
If one cog in the wheel just stops,
the machine ain't moving, man.
Yeah, man. It's rough. It's rough. I don't really have any more questions, personally. But I don't know whether you want to shout out anything or you prefer to keep your privacy. What do you feel?
Well, it's not really a shout out, but there's something I just remembered because you mentioned about drawing Pokemons competitions as a kid. Okay, funny story, I guess, to end.
Sure.
So when I was like 8 years old, there was this Merdeka Day competition, art competition for kids in a mall somewhere. Mm-hmm. And my mom signed me up for it.
Okay.
I didn't understand what themes were. I didn't know what the competition was about. Everyone else was like drawing people in kampongs and Malaysian flag in the background.
Right.
That's the most
trees.
Generic thing, right?
Yes, very generic. Full gradients and things like that. And some of them brought their grandmother, their grandfather, their maid also came along. Stood behind the kid and watched them draw. I was drawing Pokemons.
Oh, nice.
Did you win though?
No, but I had fun.
I mean, dude, you know, but in all honesty, right? If you put red, blue, yellow, white on that shit, you might have won, man. All I'm saying, you know, I swear, like, if I just wish that, like, you could show. I wish you could show. Maybe one day, lah. I don't know, lah.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. If you can come back one day and then you can show it one day. Like, I feel like, you know, I never really even talk about this part of my life. Like,
yeah, it's been a long time since you.
I never talk about my art. I never do because I always feel I'm just so bad at it. So I just like, you know, I'm just not gonna talk about it. Like, fuck it, I'm just gonna talk. But then, you know, when I talk to you again, it brings back so much memories. It brings back so much in general. Even like little stories, like I brought up a few friends earlier in 3KL. It's just like, damn, I can't even remember those guys, man. It's like, it hits hard, man. And it's so nice to see you. When we met, I'm just like, oh my God. It's been 20 years.
Jesus.
Yep.
It's been 20 years, 20 plus years.
Yeah, one heck of a time skip.
And it's just crazy, man. And I feel so lucky that like we are born in this era where the internet exists. And like we were so lucky that in Form 2, everybody was on Facebook and we used the same emails on MSN. And we just added each other as friends. And then we just connected via seeing each other's lives via online. I don't think many of our parents had the privilege to go through that.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people had the privilege to go through an era where you have no computer, so you have to have real friends. And then go to an era where you have to work, but you still can be connected, but you don't really connect. And then you go to an era where you miss that connection. And then you have that chance to meet up again. And then here we are again. It's a fucking crazy life, man.
It's really cool.
Right? It is a fucking crazy life, man. I swear. Like this if God was a storyteller, God is doing it right, son.
My guy is playing the long game.
This generation is like, chef's kiss perfection timing. I swear, I love it. Nostalgia sells so well, so I feel like when I see you, it's just like it's crazy. And I'm gonna meet like another friend of ours, hopefully in September, and it's gonna be another fucking roller coaster ride. I love it. I'm so lucky. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
It's a real pleasure to talk to you again. Although we talked over dinner earlier, but like I just feel I love this so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean, if you change your mind, also you let me know. I can put your link in the description below. But if you don't, it's fine. You know, it's a selfish endeavor that we get to have conversations with people. You know, and I appreciate you coming on, making your way all the way here. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
All right.
And I'm so sorry for the viewers, you know, because you're just watching one angle this whole time.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I will remain a mystery until who knows when.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Just let me know. All right. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Comment, like, subscribe.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Have you seen